taking a bow in front of the home fans. 5 minutes later, more good work on the left wing, and Accrington made it 2 in Craney. Side-footing it calmly into the net. The Accrington captain, Peter Cavano, is probably thinking about lifting the conference trophy in the 90th minute. Unfortunately, his deliberate handball led to a red card. Kyle Storer scored the penalty, but Tamworth remain in deep trouble. Accrington already confirmed as promoted, of course. And over 3,000 were there to see Captain Peter Cavana cheer up after his late dismissal and lift the trophy. Accrington, 1 game left this season. The win extends their lead at the top to 14 points.
It's made up, we won. And I made up for them there, you know, that we can put on a party today. There'll be a couple of lemonades drunk, and then, you know, you've got to enjoy it because there's loads of bad times, as I said before, in your life and in football. So you've got to enjoy the good times, and they will do tonight.
But to finally see them get their hands on the trophy,
yeah,
that's a special
great.
moment.
I mean, we've got a thing, me and Peter, like that with going back from the Liverpool days where Souness and Ronnie Whelan threw the cup to each other. Started to do that, and we did it with the Unibond, and it was all right. That one's a bit heavier there. Time to get a bit risky, so, well, it's good.
Plenty more football still to come, but now to rugby and beer.
The town. They've waited 44 years for this moment. It might take 44 days for their hangovers to clear. Chris Hall, Granada Reports.
Crew, and claim they were unaware he'd ever played in Iceland.
Our secretary does look into things meticulously and make sure that these situations don't arise. But at the same time, you look into the player as well to be a little bit honest and upfront and tell you where he's played before in the past.
Because James Robinson didn't actually play for Accrington in the conference, the club have got no case to answer from the conference. He did, though, play 16 games for Altrincham in the competition, during which time the club won 18 points. It's those points which they've been docked, and it's a loss of those points which will mean relegation.
We've stayed up on the pitch and done all right, and they've just took it from us. It's not on at all.
There's a petition now with over 5,000 names on it inside 48 hours. From all over the world, there's people outraged by this.
While support for the petition continues to flood in, club officials are working on their appeal, to be heard by the FA next month. Howard Booth, North West Tonight.
Stanley, who are they? Exactly.
First they got promoted to the Football League, and then they got to take on the Crossbar Challenge. Could they match the big boys? Hear how they did.
Stevie Gelka, midfield. Defender. Shimmer Pell, Jimmy Bell, assistant manager. Goalkeeper. Kom hier, Boko in midfield. David Brown, striker. Robert Williams, defender. Michael Welsh, centre half. Formerly striker. Come on, Mooney! Liam Richardson, defender.
John Coleman, football genius.
Never mind, guys. All right, time to join Helen and today's guest in the car park. Helen.
Today, certainly Accrington Stanley did. They're conference champions. We knew that already, of course, but here's the presentation. Back and enjoying their moments, and it's been a long old wait. I don't think many people thought they would ever see this day when Accrington went bust with debts of £63,000 in 1962. Reformed 6 years later, and now a Football League team. Let's hear the man who's done it. The manager, John Coleman's with Johnny Phillips.
John, this is what you've worked all season for. How does this feel?
Yeah, no, they should enjoy it. I mean, for me, like, the big part was last week. I enjoyed it last week, and I think it's always a bit of an anti-climax the week after when, you know, you've already done the hard work. It's made up, we won. And I made up for them there, you know, that we can put on a party today. There'll be a couple of lemonades drunken, and, you know, you've got to enjoy it because there's loads of bad times, as I said before, in your life and in football, so you've got to enjoy the good times, and we will do tonight.
But to finally see them get their hands on the trophy,
Yeah,
that's a special
great. I mean,
moment.
we've got a thing, me and Peter, like that with going back from the Liverpool days where Souness and Ronnie Whelan threw the cup to each other. Started to do that, and we did it with the Unibond, and it was all right. That one's a bit heavier there. Trying to get a bit risky, so, well, good.
Fantastic. And the T-shirts all dedicated to the memory of Tony Cavanagh?
Yeah, they had them when we played Grays, or the lads had them, and Peter kept them. And, you know, was waiting for the day, and I'm glad we can get them out again.
What does it mean to be the man to take Accrington Stanley up into the league?
I think it's, you know, for my own personal pride, it's great, you know. It's a place in history, and, you know, people can't take that away from you. And, you know, whatever you do in your life or your career from then on in, you know, you'll always be remembered for that. And, you know, hopefully I can be remembered for even greater things. But, you know, at the moment in time, it's nice to be part of history, and hopefully we'll keep going upwards.
What sort of response have you had this week? What sort of press attention has been on you?
It's been really hectic, you know, and I've said before, I will get a lot of plaudits. But I think the players deserve even more, you know. They're the ones who put themselves on the line week in, week out. They're the ones who were there when they went top of the league to be shot at, and everyone said they'd blow up, they'd have the blip, and he didn't. And I'm really pleased with them. I'm proud as punch of them. And the lads know I'll have a go at them, you know, in the sanctity of the dressing room. I will have a good go at them. And I had a go at them today at half time. But, you know, openly to the public, I couldn't be more pleased with the lads I've got there. They're brilliant.
Fantastic. Congratulations to John Coleman and all his Accrington Stanley. That's a fantastic spirit, their whole bunch of Scousers, and my word, they have had a fabulous
season approaches its climax in Soccer Night.
Soccer Night with Pucker Pies. Don't compromise.
Come on, come on. On the edge. It's beautiful.
On Soccer Night, on the way down, Crewe dropped to League One. On the way up, back into the Football League, Accrington Stanley. Looking down, nervously, Stockport. And look here, or there, Graham Sharp in either or. A warm welcome, as ever, to Granada Soccer Night. On the sofa with me tonight, a Scouser putting a piece of Lancashire back on the football map. Welcome to the Accrington Stanley manager, John Coleman, and an Irishman who's made Merseyside his home, my cohort from ITV Football Commentaries, Mr. Beglin. Welcome to you both. Congratulations, I have to say, before we do anything else, to you and Accrington Stanley. Must have been a great day Saturday.
A great weekend, actually.
You said that with a certain...
Well, I'm only just getting my voice back, and I
Right.
haven't stopped singing, I haven't stopped drinking, so
Yeah,
it's been good.
good for you. Now, this was an amazing part of the game against Woking. You've got a keeper, what, on loan from Charlton?
Yeah, second keeper in. To be honest, like, we got the retake, and he should bury this one. That's a set, and he's duffed it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But it doesn't show it, because Robbie Elliott actually then came out and missed one, and the lads headed off the line as well, so...
So you've won it 1-0, which has confirmed your promotion to the Football League, which you've obviously been absent from as a club since, was it 62?
Yeah, the year I was born, yeah.
Great feeling.
Yeah, it was, yeah, and it's been great. The last 3 or 4 days, you know, I think it's just sinking in now to the town, but it was a great day on Saturday. Maybe because I was quite relaxed because I knew that we had 4 goals, you know, if it didn't win on Saturday, we had a good chance on Monday then. So I was determined to just enjoy it, and I did enjoy it, yeah.
I know you've probably got some celebrating to do still, John, but you must be thinking about next season already. Changing the squad much, or are you sticking with what you had?
Yeah, we're going to have to bring 4 or 5, and, well, I'd like to think 6 or 7, but I think the chairman will have something to say about that. But no, we've only got a small squad. Paul Cook's retiring as well at the end of the season, so that's a one-off. And we'd have needed to strengthen anyway.
Yeah.
Now we're going up a league, we're definitely going to have to strengthen.
Chairman's looking for a few more fans as well, isn't he? Burnley and Blackburn boys, if they're off on a Saturday.
Yeah, you know, and there's no reason why not. You know, historically, we're slap bang in the middle of them anyway, but historically we do well when they're not doing so well. But I'd like to think that, you know, any success makes people feel good about themselves football-wise, and, you know, with Preston doing well as well, you know, could be a good time for Lancashire.
Well, we'll talk about Preston shortly, but how big a town is Accrington? What's your catchment area for fans and potential, I suppose, for players, possibly?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, there's still a little bit of snobbery about, you know, non-league football and league football, and I think a few of the fans from Accrington won't go because they're non-league, and especially the older generation, they think they belong in the Football League. Obviously,
well, you can give them that now.
Well, yeah, and they had it drawn out to bring players in. You know, you're competing with the likes of your Berry and your Rochdale.
And how big a step is it in football terms, do you believe, from the Conference to League Two? Other teams have come up and flourished. Others have maybe initially flourished, then fallen back. How does it look for you?
I think you'll do well. I'm hoping we do well initially on the euphoria of going up, and they've been used to winning games. And then after that, it's what's down to your quality in your squad, and we have to make sure that we've got the right squad and the right players in there. We've got quite a few players who could comfortably like to step up, and maybe again. Like Ian Craney and Gary Roberts have been magnificent all season. There's been loads of clubs looking at them. They're not ones I'm worried about. It's the ones I bring in now, they've got to be the right ones.
Just thinking, actually, the ultimate role model in the Northwest for Aki's got to be Wigan, hasn't it? Non-league football, what, 25 years or so ago. Find the right chairman. Well, you got a good chairman.
Well, we have got a good chairman. I think he's a few shilling behind. The big fella.
Mr. Whelan, yeah.
But,
well, you never know.
But that is your goal. You know, everyone says, what's your ambition? Well, if you give anything that, you know, you might get laughed at, we want to get into the Premiership. But if you put any ceilings on your ambitions, you're only going to stunt your own growth. So, you know, we're trying to do as well as we can.
Good for you. Good for you. And congratulations. We move on. As you mentioned, Preston, good week for them, bad week for Crewe in the Coca-Cola Championship.
Get on your dancing shoes. There's one thing on your mind. Hoping they're looking for you. Sure you'll be rummaging through. Oh, and the shit show, the horror. You've seen your future bright. Yeah, but it's so absurd for you to say the first word. So you're waiting and waiting, and the only reason that you came is to what you're scared for. Well, don't you always do the same? It's what you're there for, don't you know the lights are flashing down in here tonight? And some might exchange a glance, but keep pretending to dance. Don't act like it's not happening, as if it's impolite to go and mention your name. Instead you'll just do the same as they all do and hope for the best. The only reason that you came is to what you're scared for. Why don't you always do the same? It's what you're there for, but no!
Preston look the form team in the Championship as far as the playoffs are concerned. We'll talk about them in a second, but Crewe, first of all, Jim. I mean, if any club can afford relegation, it's probably Dario Gradi's Crew, but they've hung on for so long.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They've got caught between those two divisions. They fluctuate between the two, Vlay. I mean, you know, I've been to Gresty Road a few times over the years. They're a brilliantly run club, financially very sound. I think it's always important to have one eye on that as well, because if you do go down, then you're not going to be affected too much by it, and they can make another charge again next year. But it'd be lovely for Dario, because he's been so great, so long-serving. If he could just get one blast at the Premiership, if he could get him up and just have one crack at it, it'd be wonderful.
That would be a dream for Crew. It might yet happen this season for Preston. They do indeed look the form horse in the four that are going to contest the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Preston have really been remarkable over the last couple of years. They've rose, and now they're an established team around the top. Yeah. And I'd fancy them to go up now. Yeah, I mean, they're missing Nugent. They've sold Luchetti, so key players are missing, but they've still got big hitters in the likes of McKenna. Yeah. And they've got the lad from Bury's, Simon Whaley, who's doing well for them.
I mean, what I love about them, and they had that sensational run where they weren't giving goals away. I think when you're difficult to beat, you've always got a chance like that. And I think when you look what they've got, the momentum coming into it at the moment as well, you know. So
as long as it doesn't peak.
Exactly. I've got a little sneak in front that they could, you know, get to the final anyway.
Boys as well, but that's Ormerod, you know.
Mr. Ormerod, of course.
He was a big part of us, because we got a lot of money when he went from Blackpool to Southampton.
So he's
doing well.
He's paying his way even now.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Good for him. Meanwhile, in League One, Oldham desperately need a win. Tranmere are still a point from safety. Here's the latest. As far as we're concerned, at the top of League One, it's extremely tight, boys. Really, apart from Southend, for the automatic second spot and all those playoff places, there's teams like Huddersfield, Swansea, Oldham, all kind of going the wrong way. Nottingham Forest coming with a real run. Can you see Oldham nicking one of those spots, Jim?
Yeah, just got to stay at it. I mean, I think when you get to this stage of the season, the pressure's on whether you're going for promotion, relegation. I think for a manager, trying to get your players to relax and just kind of, you know, keep their minds off it as much as possible, I think is a big plus. And I think if they can manage to do that, there's always a chance. I mean, they're right in there, and somebody always slips at the last moment. You got to be ready to take that slot.
I mean, there's become a kind of habit with the playoffs, and a team like Forest that's coming late but with a run of form are always the one you fancy to actually win a playoffs.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, if you look at Forest, they've done brilliant to get where they are now.
From where they were?
Yeah. And, you know, once everyone thinks that they get in it, the pressure's off them, because they haven't been expected to do anything. And now they're going into big games, and then they're not playing for anything.
No, although I suppose the only thing with Forest is they're such a big club, expectation will be there.
Well, maybe that's the pressure side of it. But, you know, no one's expected them to get in the playoffs 3 months ago, did they?
No. We wish, of course, Oldham, from our parochial point of view, all the best. Competition time now, and a chance to win 2 tickets to see Liverpool's last home game of this season against Villa on the 29th of April. Who, we need to know, scored both goals for Liverpool when they beat Aston Villa 2-0 at Anfield last season? Was it A. Jibril Cissé, B. Harry Kewell, or C. Milan Barros? If you think you know, give us a call. The number is 09011 310102, as you can see, or you can text football followed by A, B or C to 63334. The calls and the texts will cost you 50p. Best of luck. After the break, more from Jim and John in here. The lurid thoughts of the Everton legend Graham Sharp in either or, the goals from League Two, and the stresses of life as a manager at the bottom of the league.
Do you want to play in front of him or get round the back of him?
Who?
Dippo.
Just fucking play up front and get us a goal. That's all you have to do.
They come true.
Dean, I'm scared, man.
Maybe there's nothing supernatural going on at all.
I'm telling you, I watched it happen. Supernatural, Sunday at 9, ITV2.
Soccer night with Pucker Pies. Don't compromise.
Welcome back. Now, when the Stockport manager Jim Gannon was in here just a few weeks ago, he insisted he'd not even considered the possibility of relegation from the Football League. It's got to be, I'm afraid, in his mind now. A win on Monday would have helped a lot. We filmed the stresses and strains of 90 minutes on Big Jim.
Without Jim Gannon, I don't think this club can survive.
We were down and out at the beginning, you know, before Jim came along, and now we're up and we're there.
He's got a football brain, he can organise, he knows exactly how he sets the team out to get a result. We all love him to bits.
Every game's big. It's a big game for them. They're obviously looking to push on, especially with teams around them playing each other. From our own point of view is that we shouldn't fear Northampton. Lads are showing plenty of spirit on the pitch. That's all the fans want. And like I said, they're coming down and they're looking forward to an exciting game. I'm sure they'll be backing us to the hill.
There's only one manager better dressed than me, it's Colin Calderwood. It makes me look outdated. Come on, referee! Ref! Hey! Ref! There's two teams! Hey! You're giving everything that way! Hammy! Him! Take him on! Hey! Don't be kind to him! He's older than me! Ref! Hey! Now, how can he jump with 16.5 stone on his back, eh? That's a minute up, is it? Right, time's up now, isn't it? Now a blow. There's a surprise. You go in and get the tee on. Brilliant half, lads. Great half. Hold on. Come on. Jog in. Do they look like a bigger team with a bit more authority about them? Look at that. That's f***ing shocking, isn't it? Hey? Fourth? Is that half row, is it? Is that half row there?
Happy to play, mate.
When they go, the old magic guys, hey, see everything, see nothing. Hey, look at that! Fucking go!
You want to play in front of him or get round the back of him?
Who?
Dicko.
Just play up front and get us a goal. That's what you have to do. Well deserved, Jim. Good luck. I'll play.
The only time you worry about relegation is when you're down. You know, there's no point in worrying about things that are not going to happen. And from my own point of view, I just concentrate on the next game.
Remember, Dave, Northampton are cobblers.
Thank you very much to Jim for the access on Monday. Didn't quite go to plan in terms of the result, but you'll know about all those stresses and strains. Win, lose or draw, it's not a very enjoyable 90 minutes, is it, for a manager?
We've got the best job in the world apart from them 90 minutes. Football,
really?
You know, when you're a bag of nerves. I thought that was a great piece of advice there. Just go up and get us a goal. Football's dead simple, eh?
Yeah. Where do you want me to play? Up front?
Just goes
Have a go.
That's all you want in it. No, but you do feel it, and, you know, there's times when you feel as though it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
You've prepared the players, and then sometimes they just don't do what you say.
No.
And that's when you get a little bit annoyed and frustrated.
As we saw. So no points for Stockport on Easter Monday. Here's what else has been happening in League Two. Good win for Rochdale. There are several of the North West clubs just kind of flirting with the wrong end of things. None more so, obviously, as we said, Jim, than Stockport, but Bury probably would feel they're not safe yet. They're only a point above Stockport. There's, what, 4 games to play?
Yeah. Well, John and I were just looking at, you know, you're looking at some mistakes. I mean, now, the time of the season, you make a mistake and it's magnified 10 times now. It's just trying to cut those out. But again, you know, it's people feeling the pressure. And you find a way of just relieving that from your players, and it makes such a difference, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, thankfully, you've not had that to deal with, certainly not this season, although you did have a great start.
No, we didn't start well in pre-season, and then we had a fantastic run. But just going back there to what Jim was saying, you tend to watch football now and you pull teams apart. You're a little bit too critical because people make mistakes, and it goes right up to the Premiership. You know, you see some shambolic defending in the Premiership, and we may be a little bit too harsh on our players sometimes, you know. I mean, they're only human.
Yeah, it would suit you for Stockport to stay up, because that'd be something
well, yeah,
of
I'm like a kid in a sweet shop there, just trying to take me pick of what I want for next year.
Yeah, Torquay wouldn't be too bad for John and Accrington. Our guest, meanwhile, for either or this week is a legend at Everton and Oldham. Not Earl Barrett, not Joe Royal, not even Stuart Barlow, or a few more. This one's a striker, a Scot, and he's sharp. Graham Sharp.
It'd have to be a bowl of Scouse, simply because I've been down in England more than Scotland now. Brunette. When I first met, I probably scored with the missus. Now, scoring with the missus. Dear me. All depends on what capacity. Both, because both outstanding at what they do. Bruce Grobbelaar, because he let more goals in. Had more enjoyment with Andy, and we won things with Andy. The season that Gary was here, we never won anything, although we were both very prolific in front of goal. I plucked for Andy because it was an enjoyable time. Dear me, this is getting worse. Obviously football wins all the time. It'd have to be Rotterdam. Probably Howard Kendall probably looks better at the moment. 85. Probably played better football. 87 was more of a patched up side. All credit to the players that came in, but I think the 85 side was the best side that Everton have had for a long, long time. I don't know what you're getting at there. Probably Neville Southall, yeah. Mickey T. Mickey Mouse. Joan Collins, especially in that film, Chad. What was that film? I can't remember. Excellent film, early in the 70s. Then I'll take Joan Collins. Neither. Pepe cries, big time. Gabby Logan. She had a good sense of marrying a Scotsman.
Every week I get put away. It's not fair asking footballers to choose between me and Gabs. Honestly, you'd have played a few times against Sharpie in Merseyside derbies.
I got away light with that one. I remember one absolute belting goal he scored at Anfield, volley, top corner.
Against Grobbelaar.
Against Grobbelaar.
I wonder he picked him.
1-1-0, but I get a chance to have a word with him because we're playing Everton.
Of course,
on the
86 Cup final rerun.
Yeah, I mean, for Marina Dalglish, for the Cans, great cause, and it'll be lovely to see all the boys back again. Absolutely. I think there's going to be a great turnout, and Sharpie's put a bit of weight on, mind you, so...
Yes.
You know,
yeah, don't be careful what you're talking out of school there, Mr. Beglin. Before that, of course, big weekend. I think you're of the red persuasion as far as
I am, yeah.
The two big teams in Merseyside are concerned. So how do you fancy your chances against Chelsea on Saturday?
Well, I think beating them in the Champions League last year might just have a little burn on that. It might be psychological with them.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think they might just do them again.
Yeah, that sounds like his confidence. What do you think, Jimbo? How do you see it?
Tight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see extra time already.
Really?
I mean, Liverpool, I don't think Chelsea like playing him. Liverpool have a way of making things very difficult for him, sit deep. But it'll be just interesting to see that Mourinho's changed things a bit, hasn't he? He's now got Crespo and Drogba up front together. Yeah. So that'll give him a different thing to handle. But I see it been very, very tight again.
I mean, they've played each other so many times over the last couple of seasons, since Mourinho and Benitez have been in charge. And they're both quite tactically astute. It'll be a game of chess in some ways, will it not?
Well, you'd think so, but, you know, if you think back to when the 4-1 game, and it wasn't a 4-1 game, I think Liverpool will have learned a little bit from that.
They lost the last 15, 20 minutes can't afford to do that.
I mean, there's so many good players on the pitch as well. You just hope semi-final something can spark it off, and it can be the game that everybody would want to see. But
Yeah.
I played in a couple of semi-finals, FA Cup semi-finals like that. You don't want to lose them because you're so close. So there's always a tension. I think it'll be very tight.
Score?
1-0 Liverpool.
I like it. Jim?
I'll go the same. I'll go for a 1-0 Liverpool.
I'll have that. Thank you very much to both of you. Good luck, whoever you're following this weekend. See you next week.
"44-year absence, Accrington Stanley celebrated being back in the Football League.